So, welcome you all to our collective calls that we hold on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Today's Tuesday, and I'm happy to present to you two amazing projects I'm going to be pitching today. I'm super excited to hear them out. So, firstly, hosting today's meeting, as always, myself, Ivan, and Malika as a co-host as well. And let me introduce you the project. We got two of them. So, first of all, we've got Imaginus project. Hopefully, I pronounced everything correctly.
Yep.
Presented by Evgeny. And also we got Spreader.io, represented by Grigori. So I'm super excited that you guys made it. Let me remind you real quick how we usually hold such calls. So the speaker usually has 5 minutes for the pitch part and about 10 minutes for the Q&A that comes later. During that time, everyone is welcome to leave their questions in the chat or raise your hand. And yeah, thank you so much for coming. Be sure to check your camera settings and screen sharing settings as well. Be sure to check your time because we are pretty limited here. And yeah, thank you so much for coming. Let's start with, I don't know, Evgeny, if you're up to be the first one, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming.
I'm representing the Imaginus, the game that we're developing right now, and that is Web3 and 2D mobile MOBA. I'll tell more about what it is. So we started our journey 2 years ago. Then from the idea, then we gathered our team and currently are on our way to success. Arena. We called it Arena because that's the key thing. Imaginus is all about PvP team battles, and I will show you the video a little bit later. In the core idea, there is a premium and free version. The free version just lets you play without any limits, etc. But the premium unlocks some cool features that are available for the premium users only, and we'll talk about it a little bit later too. So it's a mobile game. First of all, it's a mobile game, and we're focusing on Web 2 right now. Then we'll tell how we'll transfer them to Web 3, but it should be very easy. We want to make Web 2 players go to Web 3 without being frightened or without any doubts. And that is actually how the game looks like. That's the record from the device and the build that is playable already. You can check it. We can send you iOS or Android, whatever. So the game, you start with choosing your character, you start with choosing your character, the archer, the classic PvP roles right now. 3 only: tank, archer, and mage or priest, actually the support class. You choose, and then you can check the stats. They're different, and each class has its specialization. 3 versus 3 battles. You need to push to enemy's base and destroy the crystal. You have lots of abilities, unique ones, the ultimates, shooting units, melee units, and when you lose your crystal, you defeat, or when you destroy enemy crystal, you actually win. That's very dynamic, and we don't want to just create game. We want to create a game that can earn money. Mobile free-to-play segment usually monetizes versus time savers, and the skins or cosmetics, whatever, helps you to show off. So we've got lots of skins or elements that could be worn by your character, and when we'll talk about Web3 component, those could be NFTs too. The level design is in progress. Right now we have only one arena, but these are, you can check the concepts of environment that where you can have your battles. Why all these questions? First of all, this unique concept. We've got different MOBAs on mobile platforms, but we've created 2D MOBA, and I'll tell you again why a little bit later. But we have flexible monetization. We use in-game advertisement. We use cosmetics. We use time savers. All that doesn't provide you any advantages versus other players. We have our PvP is truly skill-based, and that is something that drives us closer to competitive scene, closer to maybe even esports, whatever. But we'll have our money definitely. This is the rough competitors analysis between Web3 and Web2 similar games and top games, comparing the Web 2, Web 3 level and the complexity. And we have our own niche. Sources of income, as I already mentioned, there are in-application purchases, battle pass that unlock you some kind of cool premium features, and sure thing ads. Web3 component consists of NFTs, Web2, Web3 switcher to pull our audience from one direction to another, contribute to earn, and tokenomics. We will allow our players to generate content of different types that would be approved by DAO and then come to our game. And that would be for Web3 users only. The total token supply you can check it here maybe a little bit later, but we've got it covered and planned, as well as acceleration program we are right now with. We Play Hub. By the way, soon we'll have a final call with them they will make, we already will compete with one studio, and we two survived from, I don't know, from around 50 studios or even something like that. We'll soon hope finish and sign that funding. And that's it. Yeah, we've got one last thing. We covered our concept using not fake, but video creatives, and we've got first metrics from the user acquisition and CTR of 18%. I think that proves that our concept works, and USA audience. Basically, that's it. Those are details about our financial model that we've calculated too, but I think it's not enough time to check in details, but we can share it anyway. Our team, all of the C-level of professionals for lots of years in gaming industry. We've been working with lots of, each of us from our team worked with Sony, Naughty Dog, with National Geographic, Zula Mobile, lots of brands. So we've gathered, and here are our contact info with Toma that you've probably been talking about with recently. That's it. Thank you so much. Please, your questions.
Yeah, thanks, Evgeny, for the pitch part. It was interesting. Now to Q&A, as we said before, guys, feel free to leave any questions in the chat or raise your hand. And yeah, we've already received first question. Let me read that quickly. Your pre-seed round is up and running. What's the next big milestone you're aiming for after securing the funding?
That's definitely, so our first goal is to understand that we are on the same we're in the right way. And though we've run advertisement campaigns to understand the CTR possible, we need to understand the CPI, and the build that is ready, that would be ready to test cost per install is our main next goal. So to shape the build that would be okay to decorate our store page and to understand the cost per install, because in our profit calculations, like our return of investment is lifetime value divided by cost per install. This number is very important. That's our next product goal. But sure thing, from the funding perspective, to attract more and more investors. I'm more from the products point of view. So yeah, and Toma is just on Web3 and funding financial sides.
Thank you so much for covering this question. We've got another one. Goes like this. I love the idea of shaping the game world. How does ownership of in-game assets translate into gameplay? Is it just cosmetics, or can players influence the game mechanics too?
Cool question. Thank you. Two ways. First, they are just cosmetics that help you to show off or to to express yourself with different clothes, for example. But the second one is, and that is for Web3 guys. Is you can, for example, create your own levels, your own arenas. You can even propose and create your own skills, characters, whatever. And that is for DAO. I think it would be very interesting for audience to take part. So mostly cosmetics, but for Web3 and NFT owners, broader opportunities.
I see, thanks. Another one. Hi. With such a strong team behind Imaginus, how do you plan to scale the game to attract a broader audience beyond the blockchain community?
Oh, yeah. Thank you for your question. Let me just clarify. Are you talking about the user acquisition campaign or something like that?
I think it says about broadening the audience. I can repeat the question if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I just need to understand how to answer it correctly.
Okay, take your time.
So if we're talking about Web 2 part, just mobile game, we run the classic user acquisition campaigns using Facebook ads and Unity ads. If we're talking about the blockchain community, I think it would be. I'm not ready to answer this question yet because Toma leads that direction, and I think that's more to her. If you don't mind, I will copy it and then ask her. We'll send you the answer in via text. Okay.
I think the guys don't mind.
Okay.
And besides, if you want to connect after the call with our speakers, feel free to check the chat section. Just scroll up, and you can find all the TG handles, email, and whatnot. So it's all there. We always post that.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah. Evgeny, I have a question as well. So could you tell us about the partnerships, maybe advisors? So what do you have on that so far?
We are on the final, as I already mentioned, on final stage with WeCan, and also we're waiting to be published already. We've signed the contract. I think I already can talk about it with Immutable, and actually we're quite excited about it because that's one of the main players at that Web3 gaming. So hope we'll in a few days or something like that, send you the link where you can check the Imaginus on Immutable site, and then we'll get more.
And could you, when speaking about that, could you, disclose some plans regarding this year? So as we've touched that topic, and we also didn't have time to explore your roadmap. So yeah, what's in store for 2025, and mainly when we can expect this transition to Web3? Yeah.
Oh yeah. First of all, we need to be 100%. First of all, we focus on Web 2, and I think by the end of the year, we'll go to Web 3. But we have already a request to make an NFT collection besides the game, just our cool characters, and we expect it to be done in Q3, if I'm not mistaken.
I see. Thanks. And don't you think that the market is going to be way different by the end of this year? So how can you be so sure and prepared for that time frame?
I think I agree that market is changing and it's very flexible environment we're working on, but I cannot guarantee that we will just react to everything, but we'll keep on track and try to proceed the evolution of our game and concept according to the market changes. And I don't think anybody can say that, yeah, for sure we'll reshape our game and concept. But
I'm asking that because that's not the unique concept. We've seen that multiple times. So I think you whether have like some kind of a plan to adapt to the market changes or you don't. So do you have some kind of strategy or plan B where you can go further? Okay.
Definitely. First of all, we've already diversified our hopes and income sources on Web 2 and Web 3. That's very important because if Web 3 goes down, we can maintain the classic mobile free-to-play game. If classic mobile free-to-play game goes down, we can maintain the Web 3. So that's the first and main way to diversify our strategies. The second is we are quite we have few more game concepts that could be realized within this art style, because art is one of our strongest sides, and it could be easily transformed to other genres that can have success. For example, the platformer like limbo-like game, or we can change genre quite easily. The core elements that we do and the order in which we do the core game elements is built like that. So we postpone genre-specific features for later, so we can easily shape the direction of our game. More of that, I understand that we will transform a game a little bit, definitely, after we'll have our first user acquisition campaign and we'll acquire, for example, USA paying users and understand who is better specify our understanding of who is our audience, what do they like, what are their feedback, etc. We are not going waterfall, we're agile in all meanings of that word. If we see that audience demands this, we can pivot our game concept, and we are not sticked to, okay, only 2D mobile only. If we see the need for something else, we are totally okay to pivot and to satisfy the need of the market.
I see. Thank you for covering my question.
Thank
Unfortunately,
you.
that's all time we have for the Q&A, but it was a pleasure hearing you out, Evgeny. Wishing you best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming here. So Malika, will you name our second speaker?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Evgeny, for the pitch. Grigory, are you here? Yes, you are here. I see you. Whenever you're ready.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, I'll start. I'll keep it short and simple, as is our business model. Very, very straightforward. So we're a B2B SaaS company. Our main goal is automating sales through Telegram for Web3 companies. Well, at least we started in Web3. I'm going to cover shortly how we can expand that. The way it works is essentially there are two elements to it. So we first of all developed an algo that allowed us to build the largest database of Telegram contacts that can be filtered by things like verticals, funding info, token info, and so on. And we build the infrastructure that allows us sending personalized messages using AI to relevant contacts on behalf of our clients that set up their profiles with us. This really simplifies and saves a lot of money for B2B companies and in general companies that use Telegram for like outreach, for partnerships and sales. Previously, it was pretty fragmented. A lot of training required for new personnel to do that. Need to figure out where to get multiple Telegram accounts, how to set them up, need to send messages manually every day. And then you need to, obviously, after that, try to make sense of the results that you get, the response rates and how to improve your messages and stuff like that. And doing this in Google Sheets and on your lap is sort of really lame. So that's where Spreado comes in. I mean, the setup is less than 1 hour from scratch if the client provides us all the necessary information. Yeah, as I mentioned, one of the two key elements in the solution is the infrastructure for sending messages from multiple accounts and then aggregating them inside a convenient to use interface for which you can track statistics for each campaign and compare different campaigns, view the list of contacts, of leads that you're using inside each campaign. This is what allows customers to scale their campaigns without scaling complexity, that they can connect as many accounts and send as many messages as they need, and it still will be just one interface, one inbox. In terms of the market, we're in a pretty big market. We're yet to figure out how to monetize all of it, like 100% of it. But just to give you some very rough numbers. So last year, it was estimated that the revenue of the Web3 market was around $7 billion, $6.63 billion. If we assume that at least 5% of that is B2B, which I think there's probably more, it's still 332 million. So essentially, all of this money is generated annually, either through business development people, lead generation employees, or systems like ours. And so this is like our potential market in 2024. But of course, it's estimated to grow in the next 10 years dramatically. As you all know, Web3 is growing pretty fast. In terms of competitor analysis, we have a couple of competitors, but they typically fall short either on the data side, so don't have like their own database. Some of them just reuse data from other providers and like buy it, or solutions to expand their data. And many of them also have a pretty weak infrastructure. So we're kind of the only player that combines both a bespoke database solution and like a very convenient interface with personalized approach for each client and so on. In terms of the business model, we have a subscription model. We're making right now 15K MRR, generated around $100,000 from just the last few months since we started selling the service. And obviously we have a lot of the projects in the pipeline here. In terms of the growth and the next steps, first of all, our goal is definitely growing our B2B business, we think we can grow MRR to 50K in no time, but just reaching out to Web3 projects more, how do you say that, more aggressively, I would say, and also by going outside of Web3, because we see that now increasingly like Telegram mini app services come up, and people in other industries using Telegram for sales. So there is definitely potential to expand outside of Web3. We're also thinking about building a B2C product in the future, because we have this database, huge database with contacts, which are not monetized 100%. Like, our clients do not use the whole database. This sound means the time is up?
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. I'm finished. So yeah, basically, just talking about that there is a lot of ideas on how to grow the business further, and hence why we need resources. Regarding our team, it's very lean, very small. I mean, we've been able to operate for 1.5 years without any funding, because of our super creative team and super creative like financial management, let's say. And yeah, we have some cool people here, like advisor from MoonPay, which is a super popular Web3 company, like a giant. And me, I used to work in Web3 sales for the last 4 or 5 years. So it's kind of my natural habitat, what we're doing. Yeah, that's it. Thanks everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the pitch part. Now to Q&A. As always, guys, expecting your questions in the chat, and yeah, we already received a couple of those. Let me read those quickly. That reply rate is solid. How do you keep those high engagement number consistent, especially as you scale your user base and add more clients?
Oh yeah, I thought you were looking at the pitch deck, but it's a question from you.
No, not from our viewers, but yeah, totally.
Cool. Yeah, so high reply rates, the main components is the targeting. So you're not just spamming, somebody's grandmother about market making on Dexes or something like that. So it's targeting, it's the personalization, and of course the how the account that you use to send the messages look like. So whether it's a real person, you're clearly mentioning like it's somebody in your team. They can be verified for your website that it's an official employee, and there is no like doubts in terms of whether this actually an employee at your company or potentially a scammer. So if you use these 3 elements correctly, that's how you get such high reply rates. Apart from, of course, doing some creative strategies like reaching out to conference attendees, right? So things like that can further increase the reply rates sometimes.
Sure, thank you for covering this question. Next one goes like this. The Telegram mini app sounds like a cool idea. How do you plan to balance monetizing your contact database while keeping it valuable for users?
Is there like a dilemma in this question, or I didn't really get it? So like, how do we plan to monetize it by selling the contacts, or what?
I don't know, that's what the question says. Maybe our participant can provide more details regarding this question. So yeah, let's leave it behind then if you have struggles with that. Another one, great pitch. I'm curious, with your AI targeting and personalized outreach, how do you ensure the contract collection and messaging doesn't feel too robotic for recipients?
Well, it took us some time to get the right formula as far as the AI is concerned. So we're using GPT API, so I can be transparent about that. So it's just the right mix of the right prompts and just using API efficiently to get what you to get from it what you need. So yeah, so far we haven't any complaints in terms of the messages being too robotic. Like most people do not reply that they think it's a robot or something like that. So most people think it's a real person.
Cool. Thank you for covering this question. We got another one. Does Spreader help its clients target Web3 users only?
As well as I was explaining in my presentation, we started with that. So Web3 was the niche that we selected initially to quickly grow, because I had a lot of connections in this space from being a sales employee myself for many years. Yeah, that's where we started. But next we're going to other industries. For example, Telegram mini apps seems like the next target, since they become popular. So there are a lot of service providers that are being born right now. Things like even real estate, like a lot of groups, a lot of communities related to real estate investments, in Dubai and such, also right now growing on Telegram. So potentially offering such services to like real estate agencies or something like that. Web2 SaaS in the Russian-speaking community, especially, is very popular on Telegram. So there are a bunch of founders from Web2 SaaS on Telegram as well. So we can target those guys as well.
Thanks. We have received another question from the same guy asking the previous question. Can you please define what you mean by Web3 sales?
I mean B2B sales in the Web3 industry. So companies like market makers or marketing agencies, anybody who's selling a high check service to a business.
Okay, hopefully that explained it. Guys, feel free to leave more questions. We still have time for a couple of those. And meanwhile, let me remind you that you can find all the contact details in the chat as well by scrolling up. You can find an email, the website, so it's all in there. We always post that. Okay, so while we are waiting, Grigory, do you have any plans to make any partnerships this year, or maybe add on some strategic partners, advisors to the board?
Well, we're looking for a strategic investor. I guess you can consider that a partnership. So we're looking for somebody. We already have incredibly strong technical advisor from MoonPay, but we do not have a business advisor. So currently, it's who's sort of on the business side. So yeah, we're looking for a strategic investor by the end of this year who will hopefully become our business advisor as well, and help us grow this company in Web3 and outside of Web3.
Sure, thanks. And final one from me, what are your long-term goals for the project?
To become a status quo tool for B2B sales on Telegram eventually. So anybody who is considering using Telegram for B2B sales would have heard about Spreado. That would be really nice. Would have heard it or thought about using it. And that's potentially a $1 billion business, right? Because Telegram has 1 billion users. So at least several millions of them are B2B users, people who are using it for work and to communicate with potential clients and so on. So yeah, if we can get a solid share of that market, of those users, then we're golden, basically.
I see. Thank you for covering my questions. Malika, if you have something, please go ahead. In that case, yeah, we can finish.
Yeah, maybe you can share some details about your successful use cases and how many clients do you have for now?
Yeah, of course. So historically, since we launched sales several months ago, we've had a total of 30 clients. Some of them small, some of them, stay with us for a long time, and on and off monthly, we have around 15 clients. So people who really stay with us and, keep using us for month after month. In terms of successful cases, I would say, well, there are quite a few. From the most recent, so event organization company, just last month, maybe you haven't heard about it. I'm not gonna name it, but during ETH Denver and Consensus, it was organizing several quite big side events. So they were using our platform to find sponsors for those events, and they successfully subscribed their events. So successfully closed their sponsorship packages using Spreado. I don't remember the exact metrics, but they closed around 4 deals worth $5,000 to $6,000 for one of their events that they were planning. And it cost them just a few $1,000s. So the ROI was clearly there. And also a relatively large market maker using our services generated around $100,000 since it started using Spreado 2 months ago. So yeah, the use cases and the successful cases, they are quite verified because everybody has such a different business models. But overall, yes, we definitely see regular clients and see traction.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, and also the team is quite small. How is that scalable? in the future?
Well, specifically for this reason, right? We're so small, it's easy to scale. I would like to ideally hire several account managers, several more. We have some part-time people which are not mentioned on the deck, but account managers who will be doing everything from setting up clients' campaigns to doing things like helping them reply to prospects on our platform. I'd very much like to hire a few sales managers into our team. Because currently it's mainly me on the sales side, pushing things. In terms of development side, at least a couple more developers for sure would speed up things. Just in general, like feature development and responding to clients' requests more quickly, like in 1 month instead of 3 months and stuff like that. Just like moving more quickly. So horizontal scaling essentially of the dev team.
Okay, got you. Yeah, I imagined like you three doing all the stuff with all these clients.
No, it's a little more, but it's not that huge of a team, yes.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Guys, if you want to connect with our speakers, here in the chat you can find all the contact details, and also Ivan.
Yeah, sure.
Should we finish the call?
We got 2 amazing projects today, so thank you so much, Grigori, for being here. CEO of Spreado, and also we got a Imaginus project, firstly represented by Evgeny. And if you guys want to be the next one, feel free to be a part of our calls by finding the form for participation in the chat. You can fill it in and be our next guest, present your project. Super exciting to hear everyone out. And there's also feedback forms. Feel free to leave your thoughts. Maybe we can improve our call some way. And yeah, thank you so much for coming. See you in 2 days. Cheers.
Thank you.